So seriously, episode 86.
Oh, dude,
That is the correct answer.
We're clocking closer to 100.
Wow, we're gonna have to start planning that 100 episode soon.
Yeah. The
I
100
think that might be the
a century.
Christmas special. I don't know.
It's only 3 months away.
Can you imagine, like, hypothetically, right? Can you imagine it's like somebody like 200 years from now comes across this podcast, you know, on some darknet's archive, you know, and then he's like, my God, you know, these guys, there's generally the entire history of the turn of the 21st century, you know, in these guys' podcasts. This is a gold mine.
Intelligent civilization.
Ancient civilization, yeah, was
We're
on the
ancient.
cusp,
Yeah.
on the cusp of being intelligent.
They were in danger of becoming intelligent.
Yeah, yeah. Would you believe it?
Can you imagine after the next ice age, when the next iteration of mankind starts discovering our relics from the current world that we've got?
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder how they're going to be interpreting it. You know, like when they find a clay pot in some, dig that they, they're like, oh, this is, this is how they lived, and they used to use this to grind their maize to make flour for their. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder what
For
they're going
our
to be saying
generation.
about us.
Remember
They're
that
going to see
it was
like,
that guy in Wales who
That's
wants
what
to
they're gonna
get
see
the
is-
council.
You're gonna see girls shaking booty on TikTok, and what else? What else are we
No.
famous
no, I mean, they're
for?
going to find this thing. They're going to find this thing, and they're
Yeah.
going to say like,
These guys were really obsessed with
I
this
don't know what this
rectangular
is,
object.
man. I don't know what this
It
is.
took over their lives.
Well, how are they
No,
going to
but
know?
talking
They're
about-
not. They
digging
they
up
won't. They
artifacts.
won't have a connection to power it up.
They will make it work. But it's gonna take some effort, because I think the electricity is going to change, and they'll be like, oh no, this was a primitive civilization.
Yeah, but what happens if they find this when they don't have electricity?
I think they will have some sort of power.
They'll
you know.
have some way of powering it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how did they get here?
Yeah,
What do you mean from outer space? Or
from
what?
outer space. Yeah.
Talking about that, I don't think we spoke
What's
about
happened in the US? They're officially opening the X-Files.
Exactly.
And
Did
no
we
one's
speak
saying a
about
thing
this last
about
week?
it.
Did we speak about this
No,
last week?
no,
didn't.
we just touched on it.
briefly, but
We just touched on it. Yeah.
why is this not taking over our world? What's actually happened? Why is nobody shouting about this? why is no one freaking out?
Well, I suppose
Is
because
it
they
that
don't.
there is nothing?
No, well, I suppose they don't actually have any explanation for the stuff. So it's not like I can say, okay, yes, there was a silver ball that was hovering over there, and it was moving like really, really quickly, and someone saw it. They got some cell phone footage of it, like really
Grainy.
grainy kind of shit.
Shaky.
And yeah, they might. The only thing that
Cell
I've
phones in the 50s.
yeah, but the only thing that I've discovered that I didn't know before is that they've got additional sensor information that goes along with that event. So, like a lot of like sightings might have been people, civilians that might have seen stuff. The stuff that they're looking at is Air Force pilots that have seen stuff while they patrolling or whatever.
On the missions. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got so in other words, it's not like from some person on the ground seeing something hovering, on the horizon. These guys are pilots in their Air Force planes that have seen stuff, and it turns out that not only do they have visual information about that phenomenon, they've also got other sensor information, which
Like
I didn't
radar.
realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still can't explain what it is. They don't say, okay, we've got this. Okay, but what does it mean? We don't know. And have you tried to communicate with them? No. Have they tried to communicate with you? No. Like, we're not finding out anything we didn't know. Except
All
for
right.
the
So
fact
does that mean
they've
we're just
got,
left with all those who got anal probed?
and their
All those
brains
that are abducted,
and
along with cows.
artificially inseminated in space after being abducted ET style, or I don't know.
It-
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Look. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, is it really possible that we are the only people in this whole universe, like living people?
Most likely people, yeah, but like intelligent,
No, but I mean organisms.
conscience,
You know, not, okay,
Yeah.
maybe not conscious, whatever. But I mean, here we are. We are on Earth.
yeah.
From what we know in the planets that are in our solar system or whatever, we've got a good feeling that the conditions aren't good enough for some sort of life form to live on there.
Yeah.
But beyond our solar system, like if you think about how big the universe is, like I mean, what's the probability that we're the only living organisms in this universe?
Unlikely.
Yeah,
Unlikely.
yeah.
I think there are other planets out there in the different solar systems that could support life and water and just overall conditions. It's just we're just too far away from them.
But I mean, you would expect that
I mean, our galaxy is huge, dude.
yeah.
It's literally billions of stars like our sun.
Yeah, but who's to say that our conditions are right for other organisms to live?
Oh well, this is
Why
what I
do
was
they
going to
need
say.
water?
Well, this is what I was going to say. I mean, what are the like? Do we like say okay? Well, the physical property, the physics as we know it, is the same in different other areas of the universe. Are they the same? And then could we then deduce if they're the same? Then the
Different
chances
gravities, there's different
Yeah,
gases, there's different
Yeah.
everything.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But I mean, the thing is that
Guys, but
gravity as a number, whether it's higher or lower, the physics around gravity does that stay the same?
look, the physics.
Like in
itself,
terms of inertia and momentum and that kind of stuff.
I think
What's
that
the-
stays the same. But like the issue with like physics is that it's still an evolving field. We haven't like discovered everything. There's like obviously the Einstein theory of relativity. It was only like really proven true, factually proven true, like 20 years after Einstein died.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like with actual experiments. At the time when he published it, it was just a theory, right?
Yeah.
It was a theory that was supported by a lot of other things. That's why it was taken on board. But in terms of actual physical proof of that theory, that only came like 20 years later. Now we basically, I think for the last 20 years, we're looking at string theory and antimatter and a lot
I
of
think there's
quantum
still a long way to
physics.
go in this
Yeah.
field of
Yeah,
science,
it's
just
a-
on this planet,
yeah.
let alone others.
yeah.
So, or is it that they did release something in the news that has been overshadowed by the shootings in Texas and the Amber
jeez.
Heard and Depp ongoing
Okay, which rabbit hole do you
proceedings
want to go
that
down?
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Which rabbit hole do you want to go
Yeah.
down?
Let's do the shooting first.
Well,
We need to talk about the shooting, dude.
so I saw something. I wish I'd made a copy of it, of the number of shootings that have happened just this year.
I was going to say this. This is not
I
the
take it
first
it's
shooting
more-
of the year by far.
It's like, is there more than like 5?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was actually quite a long list, to be honest.
yeah, and they did it. If you saw the same thing I did, they did it by state.
But that's scary, dude. Like, what like?
This one made the news because it was much bigger and it was school kids and it's that whole defenseless target. That's why it made the news. Other shootings are in a different environment and therefore don't always make the news.
Okay, so here
Or
we go.
international news.
27 school shootings have taken place so far this year.
Just this year, dude.
Just this year.
That is insane, man. That is just.
And that's
crazy.
school shootings. We're not talking about
Just like
Other shootings.
random
Yeah.
shootings.
number of mass shootings. Okay, yeah, here's okay, but is that a video? What? Let's just check here. Okay, here
A
we go.
video?
The US has
Compilation
had
of school shootings. That's
no,
wrong.
No. The US has had 214 mass shootings so far in 2022.
That is crazy.
214. Here's the full list. Oh my God.
How many of them are in Texas?
Okay, let's just see what we've got here. Okay, so we had on the 1st of January in Missouri,
That's
same day, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Illinois, South Carolina, Indiana, Colorado. Okay, Colorado. That was just on January the 1st. On the January 2nd was Texas, Mississippi.
It's just literally several times.
Yeah.
Man, that is crazy.
Let's just see here. This is mass shooting. This is slightly. Oh, there have been slightly fewer mass shootings so far in 2022 than 2021. Okay.
But do you think it's related
for me,
to
that's
COVID?
the biggest story here.
I mean,
it's. Okay, but how do you interpret this? So the first thing people will say is that, okay, well, you need to ban guns, right? Because then you'll curb this.
I don't
What
think
is your feeling on that? Like if you were to take
the
guns
Americans
out
have
of
the
the
right
equation,
to bear arms.
yeah, like if let's say you had the ability to take guns away, what do you think? Do you think that solves the problem, or?
I just don't see how they can implement it.
No, forget about the implementation.
Does it solve the problem? No, because the vengeance will still be there. The angst that is behind all the killings will still be there.
Yeah.
So they'll just come up with another way of doing the same thing, whether it be
Exactly.
explosives or knives, machetes, whatever. There's still that need
Crossbows.
to maim, destroy, disrupt.
Yeah.
So as much as they need to diffuse the situation, they need to address the underlying issues.
Well, that's my view as well. I don't think guns are the problem.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you guys. Like, if you look at the U.S. northern neighbor, which is Canada, it's like there's barely anything happens in Canada.
I must tell you the story. I heard someone quantify North America.
How?
Canada is the apartment above the crack house.
No, but I don't know. Like, people in Canada are just generally far more happier and just a lot more chilled than in the US. It's like, but why, man? It's like,
how many mass shootings have there been in Canada this year? Could you do that Google search?
Okay, let's see here. So mass shootings in Canada 2022.
I can see Google saying, giving you suggestions like, do you mean the United States?
Okay, let's see. There's no
There's no
Let's
news.
just see school shootings by country in 2022. 0 for Canada.
What about 21?
See if they allow me to.
Well, it's not going to be 200, that's for sure. It's like, and Australia is also 0.
No, it's giving me 2022 again. Yeah, I can't. It's not easy to find.
So what do you guys make of? So Trump's got on the bandwagon here.
Okay.
And he's called on US lawmakers to prioritize the funding of school security over the sending of military aid to Ukraine. So basically, he's not saying anything about gun control. That's not what the fix is. The fix is
more security.
Tool up the schools, to make them be able to defend themselves.
Yeah, I suppose. All that does is just keeps the problem from entering the school ground. But so the person goes from school to the mall, the food court in the mall,
the ice rink,
the
drive-through,
the road running race, like the Boston Marathon kind of thing. Or whatever. So I just think that you just move the problem from one place to another. It's like security here in South Africa. Like a suburb starts getting hit with house breakings and, driveway hijackings and all that kind of stuff. So then what happens is people's awareness increases. They're more aware. They put more security measures in place and everything, what happens? The criminals just move to another suburb. Right.
Yeah, we're not doing anything structurally.
So people don't get caught. It's reactive.
Yeah.
It's not proactive. It's reactive. And when the things are too hot, they just go somewhere else. Right? So, and then the criminals become more sophisticated. And the next time they hit your suburb, okay, that little bit, the security measures that you put in, well, they found a way to bypass it or found a gap or an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah.
And what's happening is that the criminals are getting more and more sophisticated. And I think it's the same thing with this kind of situation with the mass shootings. If you take away guns or you put more security in the school or whatever, it doesn't solve the problem. All you're doing is you're treating the symptom. The problem just moves from one place to another. And whoever's perpetrating these sort of mass shootings or whatever, they just find a more sophisticated way to vent their displeasure on society.
I do think that, like, for example, Segdale, right? Okay, so I think, any society, especially a society that struggles with, like, violence, needs gun control measures. You can't just have a situation where anyone can go to the supermarket and buy a semi-automatic AR-15, with 200 rounds of ammunition, just like out of the blue, or have several for that matter, without any control, any checks. It's like anything, dude. It's like nobody is getting tested whether they're mentally stable, they have rage incidents and stuff like that could impact on them. And I mean, we do try to have a system in place, but I mean, it's like you would call it mistakes do happen. I mean, like, take Oscar Pistorius' case. Like, that dude should never be given the permission to actually own a firearm.
Sure.
And even if he did, after the first incident that they had, which was incidental discharge at the restaurant, that firearm should have been firearm license taken away from him.
No, if I'm looking at the measures that the other countries have put in place, like Canada, they said after the 1989 Polytech massacre in which 14 women engineering students were killed in their Montreal classroom, the Canada rate of firearm homicides, okay, well, basically what they did is they banned semi-automatic firearms. Australia, the same thing. After a gunman killed 35 people in a cafe and a tourist site in 1996, Australia banned all semi-automatic rifles and all semi-automatic and pump-action shotguns. Right. So the chances of being murdered by a gun in Australia plunged by 0.15 per 100,000 people in 2014 from 0.54 per 100,000 people in 1996.
And United Kingdom?
United Kingdom, gunman killed 6 children and a teacher in Scotland in 1996, prompting a public campaign that led Britain adopting some of the strictest gun controls in the world. Within 2 years, new laws effectively banned civilians from owning handguns.
Do you know that was Dunbayne, was it? You know the tennis player Andy Murray?
Yeah.
Him and his brother were at that school at that time.
You serious? Yeah. Wow.
Sure. No wonder he's so charming. PTSD, dude. Yeah, I don't. Well, so maybe based on what this is saying is that by putting a stricter gun control in, you definitely can reduce these kind of incidents as a result of firearms. But I just want to know, has it moved somewhere else? Is that how does one work that out?
I think there's an underlying problem in the US, right, which we keep touching on. Just after that Texas shooting, there was another shooting in Charleston, West Virginia. And it didn't really make the news other than it was a woman who had a sidearm, licensed firearm, who actually stopped the guy. And basically, he'd been upset, right? That he was told off for speeding through an area where there were school kids playing, and then he came back with AR-15 and approached this little, group of 40 people trying to have a birthday party, and this woman reacted quickly and shot him and prevented a catastrophe.
Yeah.
But that's an underlying. All right, somebody's annoyed you, it's triggered, and you're going to that extreme. I mean, if you didn't have a gun, you'd have a knife or something. But it's to get past that
he
anger.
could just use
there's a
his
whole different
vehicle.
layer.
He could just
Yeah.
use his vehicle as the.
So, but this is the problem: is trying to address that level of aggression. What triggers? That's the thing that we can't get away from. Why has America got more people? I mean, there's obviously a bigger population, but why are they so angry? What are these underlying things?
Yeah.
Is it the same underlying problems? That's what no one's really talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, people in UK can also be quite violent. I mean, there's a lot of like street crime and stuff like that, but it doesn't go to that.
Yeah,
extreme.
we have a knife problem.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go to that extreme, right?
It's more gang related.
Gang related. Okay, so it's not like somebody got pissed off and takes out a knife and just goes on a stabbing spree.
Look, no, those do happen as well. But we had one not so long ago, and people still get shot, right? Even though we've got massive controls around firearms here.
But is it like crime related more than like just?
We do have people. No, statistically, you're going to have a psycho killer in your community somewhere.
Oh, man.
But I think the population of America have got
a lot more.
They're going to have, by far, because of their population, more mass murderers in general. All right, because of the population size. If you have one mass murderer per 100 million people, all right, so they're going to have more mass murderers than most countries because of the population. But if you look at the volume of shootings, there's more, by far, statistically more people on that level, and that's the issue. Yeah, so do you want to switch over to the slightly less depressing topic of
it is
the Depp affair?
Yeah.
Oh, the Depp affair. Okay. So, okay, how
Come on, give us an update, because I haven't really been following it.
No, I want to know how involved is everyone in keeping track of what was happening, at least in the last week.
Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. I really haven't. I just watched the video of Johnny Depp's lawyer doing cross-examination of
Which Camille Vasquez.
Yeah, I think that lady's brilliant. I think she's
Jeez,
just like, she's just got this, like you said, calm, unassuming, like sorority girl look, and then she just goes for the jugular.
She's dangerous.
And then she just goes for the jugular.
So slowly, she's got patience.
Yes.
She knows when to come in there and quietly attack. It's not a loud thrashing, beating attack. It's subtle.
But do you notice? Okay, here are my observations on how she conducted herself. Okay, first of all, they were very smart, in my view, psychologically, to have an attractive woman cross-examining Amber Heard, because already there's this sort of like connection
Trust
between Johnny Depp and her lawyer. Okay. So already that's a psychological thing on Amber, because that she's the one that gets, based on the evidence, it seems like she's the one that gets jealous about this stuff.
Oh, I didn't even think about it, dude.
Right?
Wow.
So here they've got, that's not to take away any of her abilities as a lawyer in cross-examining, but just think about the psychological thing, because you can already see that Amber Heard's, like, the hair on her back is standing up, because you've got this attractive woman that's been sitting next to Johnny Depp for the last 6 weeks, right? And now she's the one that's cross-examining Amber
I didn't
Heard.
even think about it, but that's a good angle.
Point number one. Point number two, you notice that she already knows the answers to the questions that she's asking,
Yeah.
right? And you notice that she doesn't get caught up in the answers that are coming from Amber Heard. So she sticks to her script. So she's already worked out what her strategy is. And she knows how Amber Heard is going to answer. But what she's doing is she's getting Amber Heard to tell the jury the answer. But Camila Vasquez already knows the answer. So she's not asking her so that she can understand or acquire information about what went on. She already knows, or she's perceived what it is. So she's creating this narrative, and she's taking Amber Heard along there. And every time Amber Heard answers her, she doesn't react to her answer or build on her answer. She just builds on the evidence that she's put out there. And what she does is she layers it. And she just keeps on layering and layering and layering. So, like, she puts a fact there. She asks Amber Heard, is that not right? And she'll say, no, I disagree. And then, but then she doesn't attack her and say, yeah, but you know, she just adds the next piece of evidence on top. And then asks her, is that correct? And Amber Heard will say, no, that's not right. And then you'll notice sometimes she cuts her off and say, no, that's not that's not what I asked. Your Honor, can you please strike after? Yes. Sometimes she just lets her run. Right? So she pushes a button with Amber Heard. Because you know what happens is, when you offer more information that you need to than just saying yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amber starts going on this thing, and then Vasquez just gives her some rope. Just gives her some space just to say her shit. And she just digs the hole deeper. Now, did you watch the cross-examination? And you also notice that Camila Vasquez always finishes on a high note. She doesn't get to the point where she's like exhausted everything. Like, she hasn't asked all the questions in a way. She like finishes like up here. She doesn't go like this and plateau and say, okay, I've got no further questions. She goes like this, she gets to the top there, and okay, I've got no further questions. Like it's almost like she leaves, almost like Amber Heard feels like she didn't have a chance to say everything that she wanted to. Is that Vasquez has just walked away. She did that twice. Where she just, like, in this last thing, as Amber Heard is answering, she just says, okay, no further questions, and she walks away. And like Amber's like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? It's like, aren't you going to ask me any more questions? I haven't said everything that I wanted to say. Kind of thing. I think it was amazing. But I don't know if you watched the last cross-examination.
No, I haven't.
Right. So she basically got Amber to admit that she wrote the op-ed about Johnny Depp.
No way, dude.
Yep.
You serious?
Yep.
Well, this is done. I mean, no wonder they wrapped it up yesterday.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, they had to wrap it up yesterday. They had a time limit, right? But what happened was she was like pushing her, ding, 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 and she was saying, yeah, all this kind of stuff. And then Amber just goes on a rant, you see? And then Vasquez just stands back and lets her talk. And what happens? She says, yeah, that's why, because Vasquez was asking her about all these people that have come out. She said, okay, but you didn't think that Kate Moss was going to come and testify. You didn't expect that the TMZ ex-employee was going to come and testify. You didn't expect that the owner of the trailer park ranch was going to come and testify. You didn't expect that. And they said, no, of course I knew. This is what happens. Everyone wants to be part of the Johnny Depp show. And, and that's why I wrote the op-ed, because of these people that come out to stand up for him. Ding. Ding.
Yeah. So she just dropped it.
Yeah, she dropped it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. She basically just said, okay, but that's why I wrote the op-ed, because of all these people that come out to support him. So it's... Oops. Anyway, I mean, it still has to go to the jury and all that kind of stuff. I haven't watched the closing arguments. But I mean, did you watch the TMZ guy?
Sorry.
The TMZ employee, he came to testify about where they got the video from of Johnny Depp and the tip that they got that she was going to go get that restraining order. So he came to say that basically they got it directly from the source because they had the copyright for it. He didn't say who the source was, but seeing that Amber is the one that shot the video, she's the copyright owner of that video, and they've got the copyright of it. So they had to have been given permission by the copyright owner to have the copyright. Right. So then Amber Heard's lawyer says to him, "Yeah, but you know that this trial has been televised." So he says, "Yes, I know there are cameras in the courtroom." He says, "Yeah, okay, but you're only here because you want your 15 minutes of fame." So he says, "No, actually not, because I'm actually putting myself out there because TMZ is quite a litigious company, business, right? So I'm putting myself in the crosshairs." And he says, "But I could say the same thing for you," he says to Amber's lawyers. You taking Amber's case. "Oh,
Yeah.
a little bit combative, aren't you?" He says, "No, hardly. It's just logical."
Yeah.
The courtroom loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I had to laugh at one of the news articles that came out of yesterday, and that the headline was "The Depp Heard Trial Interrupted by Amber Alert in the Court." This
Yeah.
is to do with so there's coincidence, all right? So they've got in the US this system called Amber, which
it
gives
like-
alerts. So Amber is
Yeah.
American Broadcast Emergency Response or something.
Is
Yeah.
it like
And
an
it
active
can be
shooter?
anything from a shooting to a storm event that's coming or whatever it is. So people get these alerts. So it had to be at a crucial time in the Amber. There was an Amber warning alarm in
During
in
the
court because not everybody had silenced their phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
sure, but yeah, I know it's
Was
crazy,
that
yeah.
Amber Alert related to some sort of shitstorm?
there's shitstorm. Shit was going down.
Yeah, let's go with that. There's a volcanic event in this courtroom. Warning.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know.
So when do we hear the verdict?
Well, look, they're starting to do the jury starting their deliberation today, and then as long as it takes them to do it. I don't think there's a limit on how long they have to take to come back with a verdict.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
dude,
there's
they've got
this thing
so much evidence to go through, dude. So much
Sure.
evidence.
If the jury's made up their mind, they've made up their mind already.
Yeah.
That's the
Maybe.
first thing you do. Everyone, what's everyone think? Are we unanimous yet? Can we go for lunch?
Yeah. Can we go home now?
Yeah, I've had enough of this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
So the
it's-
other
it's-
thing that
it's
came out
tough.
of this was some other headline in another newspaper. And besides covering, I think people are just getting tired of covering this event. But there was the big write-up about what Kate Moss was wearing. So basically, this is a season where we have film premieres all over the place. So we've got the Cannes Film Event, which is always a dress-up affair and what fashion labels have been worn, etc. We've got Brooklyn Beckham's wedding, full of people from models and such, from people from Vogue, etc., who've walked, who are also dressing up for the event. So fashion-wise, you'd expect the cameras to be on those two locations, which they are. But what makes the story? What Kate Moss was wearing at this trial.
And she was on for like 30 seconds kind of thing.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
wasn't even on. I mean, she was on for a couple of minutes.
But she chose what she wore, and it has hidden meanings. And let's analyze the crap out of this.
Shit.
I think people are
Yeah.
just bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Right.
What else is going on, boys?
Not much, eh? Not much.
Oh dear.
I
Should we
mean,
talk
we've
about the
got
state
decent
of?
weather. We've got decent weather for a change.
Well, hang on. Your decent and my decent are very indecent. I mean, very different.
Indecent. So you want to know what the temperature is?
I think it's about 20 degrees today. Today is good during
Yeah,
the
it's
day.
18 at the moment,
Yeah.
according to the app.
So,
Sunny.
Well, I'll basically kickstart this, and it's like I caught a flu this week, which is pretty amazing because like I haven't been sick for the last 3
COVID.
No. Luckily, it wasn't, or maybe even unluckily, it wasn't COVID because I started experiencing typical flu-like symptoms on Monday, actually on Sunday evening. Then on Monday, I went to get tested. On Monday morning, I was really like in a bad state, and it's like I went to get tested to the lab, and then within 8 hours, they sent me the result, and it was negative. But then I still had a problem because it's like I was still not in a good shape, everything, blocked nose, sore throat, coughing, just overall feeling of being sick, and yeah, for 3 days I was just out of action, like just game over, man. It's like,
Dude, you do realize that flu-type symptoms is normally what your body shows when you have any number of over 1,000 tropical diseases.
yeah.
So, is it pure flu, or are you the patient zero of a new tropical disease?
No. It's a
Have
normal
you been
flu.
anywhere exotic recently?
No, not even close, dude. No, unless you count Andrew's house as being an exotic destination, which it could
Well,
be.
I've heard rumors about what goes on there.
Yeah,
So anything's possible.
yeah,
He's not actually listening, so we can say a lot about this.
yeah. You can. But I've realized something. It's like because I haven't had flu for like 3 years. It's like being sick sucks, like big time.
Oh, there's never a good time to be sick.
Oh man, it's just such a horrible feeling.
Could be worse. You could be on holiday and feel this way.
True.
Yeah. Silver linings.
Yeah, a very thin silver lining. Besides for that, what's happening on our fantasy F1.
I was just going to talk about that.
No.
So,
No, we don't have to talk about this.
Well, no, Formula One is a topic we cover.
Can you pull up the stats, like how we're doing? The last time I checked.
I can. And Oleg, you've had another good week. Your gap between your team 3 and my spoiler alert team has grown slightly, but there's still a lot to play for. We've got very similar people in our team, so
yeah,
it's just, I don't see us, short of some accident of a major part of the team. I can't see much change being made. I was looking at changing some drivers in my team. It's pointless.
it's pointless. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the ranking still the same? So like,
So
team.
So let's run through this, shall we? Let's
Okay.
spend a little moment and focus on the Weekend Craic Formula One fantasy teams. Yeah, and I'll start with in first place with 1,294 points is Oleg's Team 3. And this is like 100 points that cover the first three teams in the league. So Oleg first. I've got spoiler alert in second place. Not far behind that is Oleg's second team. Also in the running here. And not far behind that is my second team, bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
And then our reserve teams, Oleg, start featuring thereafter. So yeah.
Is that
So after bumper to bumper, we've got your team 1, and then my boss book in. And then we've got the positions of 7, 8, and 9 following behind, quite far behind. And that is all seem to belong to the other member of the Weekend Craic team. No names mentioned.
Is that even possible? How's that possible, dude?
I mean, this guy knows more about the sport than we do. This is like the Coke Challenge all over again.
Yeah. This guy is like an F1 guru. How's this possible? Like,
How has this happened? I mean, if you look at his worst team, I mean, if you double those points, he would be in first, but not by far.
Yeah.
And how many races have we had this year? 5?
Yeah.
So here we go, guys. It's Monaco Grand Prix weekend. This is Leclerc's hometown. He's in good form,
He's my turbo
good
driver.
car, good practice drive times.
He's my turbo
my
driver for double points.
You're going for double? Oh, on a tricky course like this where anything can happen?
Yeah, for sure.
You don't think he's going to push the limits and clip a corner?
No.
All right, I've been to this circuit, and I wouldn't do double points this week. There are so many tight corners.
You have to, dude. Like, this is the time where you basically just establish your dominance and break and put yourself in the lead.
I obviously wish you good luck. No, I don't.
Andrew,
I'm saying it's a gamble.
No, I just want to see what the latest news is.
Okay.
It's a gamble. Oh, he doesn't want to talk about Formula One.
No, I am talking about Formula One.
He's feeling very sensitive about this.
Well, should we have a look? Practice 3 is going on at the moment, I think. Let's see how we're getting on. Okay, I don't have it.
You know, Lester, how is this possible, right? I have a question, right? How is this possible that the person that knows the least about F1, and I'm talking about by a long margin, not by double, but a long margin, managed to pick the team that's currently in the leading position?
It's called beginner's luck, dude.
That's true. And it works.
Well, I have a theory that I think we gave you some hints. We talked about it a lot.
You guys did. I mean, you guys laid out my plan. Like, after I got back home, I was like, okay, well, they told me which teams and drivers to pick. And yeah, just do it. Just go click, blah, 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 pick the teams.
Okay. Yeah, you got the right sequence of driver and.
But how did you guys manage not to follow your own advice?
The problem with this whole fantasy Formula One, and it's the same with any of the fantasy games. You know what you're doing, and that's a problem because you tweak.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Overthinking.
You have a gut feel, you have another tweak, and before you know it, you've destroyed your team.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Are you going with that?
I'm going with it.
I'm not going to rub it in.
Oh no, but we've got a long season ahead of us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. It's just anything could happen. Like, for real, anything could happen.
So I did have something which I haven't really got any information about. Maybe you guys do. They were talking about taking Monaco off the annual circuit.
How come?
I don't know, and I was hoping you guys would know because you follow the sport.
No.
I can't see how.
I mean, this is the most glamorous event on the circuit. Well, they can't because maybe it's too small. There's not enough space for crowds. It is quite a tight setup. You don't get as many people going to the event because Monaco is quite expensive, but also there's not enough grandstand space. Maybe that's it. I think there's also Formula 2 and 3 and all of that happens in a very tight space. Is it practical?
But I mean, they've been doing it for so many years there. I mean,
I think Monaco is part of F1 in terms of like this is the race for the sponsors.
It is. For me, it's going to be part of it. It's the history. It's everything.
Yeah, I think almost in a way, what would you call it? It's not. It's like a.
Can't take Monaco out of F1.
Yeah, it's like a.
Synonymous.
But what's it's like a.
You can't take Monza.
What's it like when you have a tennis match, but it's too.
Grand Slam.
Predictable.
No. When it's like it's not a tournament, but it's like a showcase. So, like, let's say you have Serena Williams play against not Andre Agassi, against one of the men, right? And they, what do they call that thing?
It's
like a there's a special name for that kind of
derby
event.
It's not a derby.
No, I get it.
No.
I think showcase is the right one.
Yeah,
But,
so it's like I
it
think
doesn't
Monaco
count for
is
anything.
like
It's
a
just a spectacle.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
like a
spectacle, yeah.
spectacle. So it's like a it's almost like a yeah, I don't know what the right word is. It'll come to me.
But why would you class? I mean, Monaco carries the glam and the glitz, and it
No,
is a
what I'm saying is
spectacle,
that it
but it has to count for something.
it's in yeah, but it's in there more because it's this showcase spectacle than a hardcore racing circuit. I mean, it's taxing, it's whatever, and you know, it might have some drawbacks, space and facilities and whatever. But like they have it on the calendar because it is the sort of like almost like the advert for
F1.
F1.
It's
Yeah.
like the Indy 500 and the IndyCar series.
Yeah. I mean, like you almost like
it's been around forever, and it's the one that everybody wants to watch.
yeah. So like you take Monaco
It's like
out
Grand
of the
Slam
out
tennis,
of
and sorry, it's like golf have their key events, their majors. Tennis have their majors.
the yeah
This is a major for this sport.
yeah. But
There's
I mean
lots of other races going on.
yeah. Anyway,
So I think we're all in agreement it should stay. But I'd like
absolutely.
to understand more.
Absolutely, because I mean, like you almost like think what would Formula One be without the Monaco Grand Prix? It's like almost like you take part of the history away, part of the glamour, part of the. If you know what I mean, it becomes like this. I don't know. I can't imagine that you could take it out.
No, you can't.
Oleg has spoken.
Yes.
take
You
it out.
can't. You
And
can't.
based
After
on the
Claire-
fact that he's leading the fantasy, I think he's got a lot to say in this.
I think what he has to say carries a lot of weight.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's an expert in the field. He knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Absolutely. The stats speak for themselves.
The stats don't lie.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you luck this weekend, Mr. Bearded Fen, because
You need it.
I mean things can't get worse, really. To be fair. Are you serious? You playing your triple captain this week, Oleg? Oh, please say you're putting it on Alonso.
No. I'll let you guys know.
Well, well, I'm not going to tell you because I need to catch up. You're starting to get away from me now, and I'm not sure there's anything I can do about it. I can't swap people out. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Have you
All
guys
right,
got
because-
any advice for me?
Well, Andrew, for you, it can't get any worse now.
Okay.
I don't think it can.
I suppose when you lost, right? Is that right? You
Yeah,
lost,
you've
you
got nothing
lost.
to lose. Just you've got to try something. Change the whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Change all three teams.
Fire everyone.
Fire everyone, yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Guys, days of the week. What's happening?
Hey, so did you guys have lunch together today? Did you have burgers?
No, we had
No.
breakfast.
We had breakfast. Amazing.
Ah, you
amazing.
guys.
It was amazing,
You've-
though.
You've missed out because today is National Beef Burger or Hamburger Day.
I'm having a burger this evening.
Going to as well.
I might as well.
Mm,
Well, I think it's right. We've got to acknowledge these days at some point.
yeah. And based on that, I see Nat's What I Reckon. You guys follow him?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just brought out a burger recipe or
Sweet.
how to make loaded burgers, if you want to call it that.
Wow.
He released it today, I think.
Okay.
Mm.
That's next on my list. After this session.
You also
All
gonna,
right, let's have a
gonna
look.
honor this
On this
tradition.
day. On this day. You guys have heard of Joan of Arc.
Yes. Yeah.
So obviously a big legacy there. They made movies. You know, she was a big part of the war at the time.
Yep.
And but after the war, after all that, She was accused of heresy because she wore male clothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't she like burnt at the stake or something?
So, well, this is it. She did it again, and the church was straight on that, and they said relapsing into heresy by donning male clothing again was all the justification they needed for her execution. I mean, can you imagine? She leads and she conquers and does great things, only for the male-dominated environment to go, dude, no, you, thanks, but you need to put your dress back on. Oh, you've done it again? All right, that you did. I mean, that's pretty harsh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was a different time.
Absolutely.
What else was there on this day? So she was burnt on this day.
Yeah.
She was terminated.
But wasn't there also like some famous scientists, I think like Galileo Galileo, that was accused of heresy because he said the Earth was round? Or
I think there's a few of those.
or the Earth was
Certainly Monty
rotating.
Python came up with them.
Or the Earth was rotating around
Yeah,
the
it
sun.
would like the
And
Earth
that-
wasn't the center of the universe. Or
It wasn't
something.
in the center of the universe, and then like the church came
The
out.
church,
and
yeah.
says, sorry, buddy. Next, off to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Off to the next life.
Or not.
Or not.
What else on this day? The first indoor swimming pool opens.
Where?
And when?
And when is the question? And your guesses will be accepted, but
Most
probably
welcome.
going to be wrong.
I think maybe Greece or
Turkey. No?
No.
Turkish baths?
maybe Greece or like Italy.
So, I mean, what's the distinction between a swimming pool and a, like, like a Turkish bath or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, would that be classified
a
as an
sauna.
indoor pool?
No, because those are baths.
Baths.
Because indoor baths have been around since Roman days.
Well,
Yeah.
this is
And
what
we
I'm
have
trying
a
to
hot
establish.
spring, and
Yeah.
so no, that's not a swimming pool.
Okay.
That's a bath.
Okay.
I'll put you out of misery.
Please do.
And it kind of makes sense that the first indoor swimming pool opened in London.
Wow. You
Think
serious?
about the weather. Well, yeah. Think about the weather. You don't want to be outdoors.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
horrible outside.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in Sweden,
Or like
No,
Finland.
but they just go
or
skinny
Finland.
dipping in the lakes. I mean, they don't need a swimming pool. Yeah.
exactly, outside in the freezing, flipping Brits.
The year was 1742.
Wow.
Hang on. Which year did South Africa get discovered? It wasn't long after.
16
No, 16 something.
16
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
But is it still functioning? Just for the interest sake?
I don't think so. There are some old, not as old as that, but there are some Victorian and before older indoor swimming pools that have been maintained, but a lot fell into disrepair.
Okay. Okay. So you don't think that one still like
I don't think that one
operational?
is.
It would have been amazing. It's like
Maybe I should Google it quickly.
they most likely would have built like a condo apartment block on its
Yeah.
place.
I mean, yeah, better return on investment.
Yeah.
And silence.
Sorry, I am
is
searching.
golden.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Information Britain.
Bummer.
The pool
Dun,
used to
dun,
be
dun,
to
dun,
open.
dun.
Oh. Yeah, this was to try and get people to stop swimming in the Thames, which was
Little bit
polluted,
polluted. Yeah.
sewage. And the city stank, so everybody wanted to wash, so that people started swimming in because there's a lot of rivers through London, not just the Thames. There's
Yeah.
a lot of tributaries which are now underground and being built underground and built over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the streets were filth. There's open sewers. Yeah, people didn't really have bathroom facilities. They were just using open waterways to wash. So I just imagine what this this pool opens. It must have been filthy within seconds. It was a business idea. Subscription will pay for it. And only gentlemen, ladies were allowed in. So it's upper class.
Yeah, it's most likely not for everyone.
Yeah. There was other facilities there, including a cold pool as well as a warm one. There was a waiter service. I'm in the third lane. My beer, please. Thanks. Yeah.
Can you imagine getting your tea served to the pool?
Yes. Oh, who dropped their biscuit in the deep end? Come
Exactly.
on.
Exactly. You can just see how that would go down. Eh?
Like literally.
Yeah. Back in
got a
that day, they
floater.
didn't have creepy crawlies. Yeah. Barracuda.
No.
Barracuda.
All right. It doesn't say it was still. I doubt it still is.
Okay.
There we go. On this day in 1934, the first quintuplets to be born who survived infancy. Up until that point, all the babies died. So there you go. On this day, the quintuplets finally survived.
Yeah.
1934,
Sure.
and that was in Canada.
Wow.
And do you reckon that's what you think it was cesarean, or and that's what made the difference in terms of survival?
It doesn't go into that level of detail.
Okay.
I wonder when the first cesarean was performed.
Google.
There's a Google search. Not on this day, I'll tell you that, because otherwise I'd have that info. All right, so we have a celebrity birthday today, and that is Kylie Minogue.
Wow.
Wow.
She's
Okay.
still
Kylie
around.
Minogue's birthday.
Yeah,
She's still around. Yeah.
Huh?
How old do you
Did
think she is?
you guys know that? Did I tell you this, guys, before? Neighbours is coming to an end.
Okay.
The
No.
soap opera, the Australian soap
Yeah,
opera, which
yeah.
was the launch pad for Kylie
And
Hemsworth, Jason Donovan.
yeah, Jason Donovan, yeah.
There's another one. Ah,
Not Russell
Anyway.
Crowe. No?
yes, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is what they came from. Anyway, it's coming to an end because nobody's watching it anymore. And
Can't blame them.
well, it's actually been the UK that paid a lot for its rights. It was on one of the channels here, and they've finally gone, yeah, no, we're not doing it anymore, and that's now caused the final collapse, the final nail in the coffin. So they were filming the last episodes, and they were going to bring Kylie and Jason back in their old characters into this as a final farewell episode. So that'll be interesting to watch. But okay, so it's Kylie's birthday. How old is she? Any guesses?
I don't know. She
No
must
idea.
be
50s?
no, I think she's a little bit older.
50s. I would say late 50s.
55.
I would say happy birthday, Kylie. Happy 54th birthday,
There
Kylie.
you go, 55.
done.
Close. Woo!
Well done.
You're getting better at these.
Well done.
Hang on. Does that make... Hang on. She's single. She could be in range here.
For who? For
Uh,
you? Where does she live?
In London.
Da, 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 da.
But it's unlikely that she's your neighbor.
I just had a new woman. move in.
How's that?
Well, I haven't met her yet.
How's that for a name drop? Neighbor. Neighbors.
Here all
Okay,
day.
here's a fun fact. When do you think that the first documented cesarean section on a living woman was performed? In what
On
year?
living woman.
Yes.
Jesus.
Although I will say that she died
1880.
she did die 25 days after surgery,
Well, she got infected, yeah.
probably.
I'm going to say 1881.
1610.
Whoa! Wow. And where?
Well, it doesn't really. Let me see. Let go in here. If it says where it was. First documented case. It doesn't really say.
Doesn't say, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. There you go. Right.
On this day,
Yes.
the first the first animals retrieved from a space mission happened today in 1959.
Sure.
When the monkeys Abel and Baker, that were projectile 500 kilometers into space on Jupiter missile, they became the first animals retrieved from a space mission.
Sure.
All the other animals are still floating
In space.
somewhere. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a happy ending.
I don't even want to ask any
That's-
details on
That's a
that.
happy ending.
All right, I'll move to another
Is
one.
the SPCA still trying to
To locate them.
find
So
the
one of my
responsible
famous-
people?
One of my favorite film directors, Stanley Kubrick,
Wow.
married his
Yes.
high school sweetheart on this day. He was 19.
And she was?
It doesn't say,
Mm.
but she,
You
yeah.
probably find there's a reason for that. They couldn't name her because she was underage. Sorry, Stanley.
Oh, hang on, what's her name? Toba Metz.
Mm. Okay, so talking about film director, I went to go watch Top Gun last night.
You didn't.
I did.
Why are we not talking about this sooner?
I don't know. I'd forgotten.
Was it that bad?
No, it was actually quite good. I enjoyed it. A bit slow in the beginning, but it's got going, and it was a pretty cool story.
As I'm quoting Andrew, right? He said that it was actually that good that you would watch it again
Yep.
on the big screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like James Bond, you're going to have to go back again.
Hmm?
Hang on, didn't you say? Oh no, that was James Bond. You said you weren't going to watch it. You were so fed up with this whole thing and the delays and the launch,
Yeah, and I went to go watch it 3 times
and you watched it 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the cinema.
That's hardcore. That's hardcore.
yeah. You didn't even wait for it to stream 2 weeks after launch in the cinema.
Mm.
No, but it's a big screen movie, right? You got to watch on the big screen.
Oh yeah,
Top
listen,
Gun, that
and
is.
listen, Top Gun. I mean, if you understand that those guys are actually flying in those planes when they're filming that.
Mm.
So how they filmed it was they had the 2-seater F-18 Hornet, and then they're filming as if the person is like almost like as in a single seater.
Did you see the Tom Cruise James Corden?
Yes, I did.
Thing.
Did you see?
Where,
Did you see that he flew the jet, and then the P-51, and then he flew the jet. Right.
Yeah.
He flew that F-5 Northrop.
So the boy's got the skills.
Yeah, and that P-51 that he flew in that thing, that is his own personal plane. And I think that small jet is as well. But that P-51 is his, and it features in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you check the serial number on the plane in the James Corbin thing, and
Have
then
you already
check in the
checked this
movie.
out?
Yeah, I did. But I knew that he owned a P-51, and then I heard that they had used his plane in the movie. And then when I watched that James Corbin thing, I checked the serial number on the plane because I wanted to see if it was the exact same one that was in the movie, and it is. Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, I will go. I will make an effort to go and watch this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not next week, but maybe the week after. But yes,
Yeah.
it's a big screen movie, which we've said from the start. So was there anything that made it dated, considering it was filmed a few years ago? Was there anything in the movie that kind of gave away that it wasn't present day?
No.
No cell phones, no cars.
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
Yeah. Very good.
Did they get oiled up for a volleyball match?
I don't want to give it away.
No, don't. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Guys, on that happy note,
Yeah. Are we calling it?
let's call it.
On that greasy note, let's go home.
On that greasy note. Well, that's episode 86 done.
Smashed, bang, out
Bang.
the park.
Have an
Yeah.
awesome
Thanks for
one,
playing.
everyone.
Talking about smashing, go smash a burger.
Happy Hamburger Day.
Yeah.
Happy Hamburger Day.
Same time, same place.
Fully loaded.
Next week. Yeah. I'm going to have some fully loaded fries as well. Ding.
Calorific.